This is my phone book challenge. For the purpose of this video, I've already added some contacts into my phone book. You can add contacts and you can also attach images to those contacts. To display this information, I've used custom cells. Once you click on the table view cell, you can see the user details, the image attached, the first name, the last name, the email address, and the mobile phone number. You can also add new contacts by typing in their first name, their last name, their email address, their mobile number, and their landline number. You can also attach an image. As you can see, the user has been added. Once you click on the user, you can see their details. You can also remove users from the contact list. This is the code for my phone book challenge. For this challenge, I'm using a struct to save my user data. Within my list view controller class, I have an unbind to list segue, which is setting its source as the add view controller. Within my add view controller, I have UI text field outlets, which are used to enter the user details. Once the details have been entered, they are passed back to my unbind to list segue, which then saves all that information into these variables. Then these variables are used to create a user object, and then that object is appended into my users array to be saved. As I mentioned before, that I'm using a custom cell to display my information within my table view. Within my custom cell class, I have two outlets, a UI image view and a UI label. Within my list controller, I set my table view function as my custom cell class, where I display the user's first name and the user's image. I also have a prepare for segue function, which sets as destination as display view controller class, where I check which table cell the user taps on and then get the object that cell holds and then pass that information onto my display view controller class. Within my display view controller class, I have UI label outlets, which are used to display the information, and variables, which are used to save the information. Within my viewDidLoad function, I set the text for the UI labels to the variables that hold the information that is being passed within this display view controller, which then displays the information within my app. Within my viewDid function, I am also changing my UI view, where I change the corner radius, the mask to bounds, and border width for my UI image view to give it a different style. This is my weather app challenge. In this challenge, I'm using an Open Weather Map API to display a 7-day weather forecast. Currently, I'm showing a 7-day weather forecast for London. As you can see, I'm using a table view cell to display the 7 days. You can see the day the weather is about and the basic information about that day. To get more detailed information, you can click on the table view cell, which gives you how the sky is going to be, if it's going to be raining or if the sky is going to be clear, temperature details and other details which include pressure and humidity. As you can see, I have also added icons. These icons change based on the kind of weather it is. For example, for light rain, I have this icon. For sky is clear, I have a sun icon. And for moderate rain, I have this icon. Once the day changes, the UI table view also changes. For example, if you were to access this app on a Tuesday, Tuesday will move on the top of the list and Monday will move at the bottom of the list. And as you go along, the days will be changed and you can see the current day at the top of the list. This is the code for my weather app challenge. Within my weather list class, I make an API call to the Open Weather Map API to get the 7-day weather forecast data. After making the API call, I check for errors to make sure that no errors are being returned with my data. If the API call is successful, then I create a new instance of the weather summary struct. After that, I get the data out of the API, save it into the struct variables, and then pass that data onto my weather list view controller class. Within my weather list view controller class, I have created an array which contains all the days of the week. Then I use the getDayOfWeek function to get the current date of the week. Based on the information that is returned, I change my table view cells and display the current day from my days array. I also have a prepare for segue function, which sets the destination as the detail view controller class. When a user presses on a certain table view cell, the information is passed on to the detail view controller class. Within my detail view controller class, I have UI label outlets, which are used to display the information within my app. Within my viewDidLoad function, I am setting the text of my UI labels equal to the information that is being passed from the prepare for segue function within my weather list view controller class. I also have an array of UI images. To display different icon based on the kind of weather it is, I use the icon ID text that is being returned from the OpenWeatherMap API. If the icon ID returns weather equals to 501, then I set the image equals to slightly drizzle. If the icon ID is returned as 800, then I set the image as sunny, and so on. This is my Core Data Apps challenge, where I've created a very simple framework where users can add user details and remove user details. For the purpose of this video, first I will enter new user details and then close the app, and then reopen it to see if the user details are still there. And then I'll remove some data and then do the same. Let's add some new user details. As you can see, the data is still there. If I close the app and open it again, you can see the data is still there. If I remove the first contact, then close the app again and open it again, you can see that the first contact has been removed. This is the code for my Core Data challenge, where I created a simple phone book. The rest of the code is quite similar to my first phone book challenge. The only difference is that I'm using Core Data, where I created an entity called user data, which contains the following 3 attributes, which are also present within my user data class. Within my list view controller class, I use the UI alert controller to get the user input. Once the user has inputted their data and clicked on the alert add button, I send the information to the add user function, which takes the information as part of argument. After that, I create a user object and then save that within my Core Data.